Hey everyone, Jordan here with a quick demonstration of a tech tool that several of you have seen me use in class and have asked about. And sometimes it's hard to get together for a little PD. So I put this video together for you to watch it at your own convenience and refer back to it. So Nearpod, of course, is the tool that we are going to look at. It is something that I have used for many years now, and it really transformed my teaching. Although we don't want or need to lecture every day, all day in class, some lectures are, of course, necessary, especially in my subject area of history. Even though students may be taking notes during your lesson, it really is not an engaging learning experience for them, and there really isn't much accountability. Nearpod takes your standard PowerPoint or Google Slide presentation to a whole new level by making it interactive rather than just a passive experience for students, and it holds students accountable since you can require activities and formative assessments throughout the lesson. Right off the bat, one of the great things to me about Nearpod is that students don't have to have their own account. As a teacher, you will create an account to build and house all of your lessons, but students will join your lesson with a randomly generated code. The code is new each time you open a live lesson, so it's not anything that they have to remember. I want to go ahead and mention that I do pay for the gold version, which is about $120 a year that I pay for with my SIS money. But most of the features are also on the free version, which I did use for a long time at first. To show you all of these activities that I keep talking about in action, I'm going to show you a Nearpod that Nearpod created so that you don't have all the notes mixed in like mine have. And this one is short and sweet, and you can see the activities that you can use while you are teaching and using Nearpod. Everything that the students are answering, drawing, like you're about to see, you will see on your screen. So in real time, you can check their comprehension. These are the features that are within Nearpod. There are a couple others that are not included here. I'm going to show you a couple of them. The first one is the Draw It activity. I actually use the Draw It activity a good bit in history because I will put in a blank map and have them label it or label, a few certain places that we are talking about. And I find that very helpful. So this one says draw a yellow arrow that points to Mars. So up here in the bottom left, I can choose my pen color, make it thicker, and then draw my arrow. It is a little bit more difficult when you're using a keyboard than if you were using your finger like on a phone or an iPad. So as students are turning in their drawing, you will see each of their drawings on your screen, and then you can send a correct one back to everybody. It doesn't show their name. Of course, at least ninth graders, like to talk about who drew that one, and so they'll usually share. But when you send it back, it doesn't include their name. So you can just say, okay, this is the correct one. This is what you should have labeled. This is where Mars is. Another feature is the virtual field trip. This is part of the paid version. Definitely worth it. Pretty much every lesson that I've created, if there's a place or a building or a statue or something that I want to show students from Google Earth, I've been able to look it up and insert it. And usually there's several different angles too that I can include. And then lastly, this next slide is a quiz. This shows what you would see as the teacher. So as students are answering, you see their names, you see which questions they've answered correctly and incorrectly. And then when everyone finishes, you click share, and they will get on their screen a pie chart that's just them, which ones they got wrong, which ones they got correct. And then at the bottom, they can scroll down and see which ones they answered incorrectly and which ones they got correct. So on this quiz, I think there's 3 questions about Mars. Mars is the 4th planet from the sun. Next, Mars is known as the red planet, and Mars is similar in size to, I'm going to say, Earth, and then submit. And so here, as I was mentioning, this is an example of what the students would see once you send it back to them. Okay, so now you've heard me talk about how awesome I think Nearpod is, and you've seen some of the activities. I know now you want to know how hard it is to make them. And the great news is it's very simple. And if you already have PowerPoint presentations or Google Slide presentations, then you're over halfway done, because all you have to do is drop those directly into Nearpod and then just add in the activities that you want to add. So I came into my Protestant Reformation folder, and if I wanted to create a new lesson here, I could do it in Google Slides, which we'll look at in a minute, or I could just create one from scratch in Nearpod. That option is a little limiting in terms of how fancy you want to make your slides look, with font and color and template and all of that, but you have that option. So you can start directly from here, or if you have those PowerPoint presentations already made, you can just drag and drop them in. So if I were on a desktop, I would be able to show you that a little bit easier, but that is what I did for this Nearpod. So I had a PowerPoint presentation. I moved it to my desktop so that I could just click it and drag it over. I'm on a Chromebook right now. Otherwise, I would show you that. And when I dragged my PowerPoint file over, it separated all of my slides out into separate slides in Nearpod. So all of the slides that you see here that have text on them, kind of the creamy colored background with the pictures, those were just made in PowerPoint. But then I dropped in some Nearpod activities. So on this one is a draw it. And like I mentioned before, I like to use a lot of blank maps on this since I do teach history. And so for this one, they are circling the European continent and then identifying Italy. And I did put on there, because this is one of the first things we do during the school year, that if they needed to look it up, they could. Also on this Nearpod, so I have the map activity, and then I have some field trips of Vatican City. I have another draw it and a website. And then down at the bottom, I have like a little review quiz, just a little formative assessment. And then also, of course, there's notes here. And so they are taking notes as I go through the Nearpod whole group. Of course, we have to stop and take time to do the drawings and discuss. So that Nearpod probably was over 2 days, or maybe a class and a half. I wouldn't be able to do the whole thing in just one class. A third option for creating a Nearpod is to create it inside of Google Slides directly from Nearpod. So I'll click on Create Your Own Lesson in Google Slides. It will open up Google Slides. And if this is the first time that you've done this, you will need to add the Nearpod add-on. So I've already added that. So I will come up to the top and click Add-ons, Nearpod, and then open. You saw where it says Get Add-ons. If you didn't have it yet, you would just click on that and type in Nearpod. It's really easy. Then it pulls up the Nearpod activities and options over here on the right. So just like PowerPoint, Google Slides is very similar. So you would, if you were making a lesson that incorporated notes, you would add your slides over here, type in your content, change your layout, theme, color, images, whatever you want to do. So maybe you have a couple slides of content, and then let's say you want to add in a drawing, maybe a labeling, a map, or there's lots of different ideas there. Think about the example we saw with the solar system, labeling that. So you would put your instructions up here at the top, and then you can do just an empty canvas, just a blank screen, which would be great, like maybe for math problems. But you can upload a background image, so you can go here and actually search for an image on the web, or if you already have it saved, you can upload it. So I'm not going to put anything there for now, but I think it will go ahead and drop it over here on the side. And then let's add a field trip also. I'll just click on one of the ones that come up. Okay, Taj Mahal at sunset. We'll add that. And then you have all your other activities also, so you can push a website, and then any of the other activities or features that we've looked at. So if I were finished, I'm going to say save and go to Nearpod. And you'll see it is adding my new Nearpod lesson right here. Wrapping up, I have two more things to show you. The first of those are the reports. Over here on the left-hand side, you can see that I've selected reports, and then it pulls up all of my Nearpods or my Nearpod sessions. And so I can find the one that I'm looking for, click on it, and then go to the particular session to see the data from those students. So this particular one, these 4 sessions were in class, actually right before the school closings this spring. And then this one that only has 3 students in it, this icon out to the side means that this was a student-paced lesson. So probably they accessed it on Google Classroom. Maybe they were out that day or did it the next day. So that's where you go to find the data. And then the other place that I want to show you is the Nearpod lesson library. There are tons of Nearpods already created that you can either buy, or many of them are also free. So you can search by subject area or grade level. And if you want to look for just the ones that are free, like I want to do, then I would just click free, and then it will filter out all of the other ones that are paid. And so you can go through these and check them out, and then you can add them to your library if you're interested in them. I hope that you have enjoyed this session and that you feel a little bit more comfortable using Nearpod now in class. Please let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything that I can help you with. Have a great summer.